together. Start with you then. Celtic Thunder has not been together that long, relatively new. How did the group come together?
I think we're together. We first met each other roughly 2 years ago. I think it's this month, in fact. Sharon Brown, who's the producer of the show, had the idea of having this Celtic Thunder put together, and she approached the musical director, Phil Coulter, and between the two of them they travelled all around Ireland, 4 corners of Ireland, and over to Scotland, and they were looking for 5 performers for it. You know what I mean? It's for they wanted the whole Celtic idea, so they never just stuck with the Irish guys here.
In this country, Celtic music is enormously popular. Even though there are large numbers of people in this country who are from Germany or Mexico, say, we do not have German thunder or Mexican thunder. Why is it that Celtic music is so popular in the States, do you think?
Well, I suppose, it probably has a lot to do with, we talk to a lot of people from America, and they have, their ancestors go back to Ireland and Scotland, and I suppose there's that Celtic blood is in them, but we find as well from our shows that, it's not just expats or even people with a Celtic background who would come and see our show, because there's a lot more music in Celtic Thunder, the show. We do have the traditional Irish songs and Celtic songs, but there's a lot of contemporary songs there as well, with maybe a bit of a Celtic flair put on them, so we're introducing people, I suppose, to Celtic music as well, which you will find, to come to our show, that, as I say, it's not just for people who love Celtic music specifically.
When you have 5 different guys who all sing, it's not as if one is playing the guitar and one is playing the drums or something like that. You all sing. Is there a certain competition to get to do certain songs? Are you competitive about who will get to perform a certain song?
No, there's no competitiveness at all between us. The 5 of us are completely 5 different agents all together. We're 5 completely solo artists. Paul's like an opera singer. I write my own music in the show, so I play guitar and sing, completely different sides of the spectrum all together. But together we come together in about 5 or 6 of the songs and do a few ensemble pieces, And it was complete luck, actually, because we never knew how 5 completely random voices would have sounded together until we got to the studios, and we were lucky that the 5 voices blended the way they did.
Damien, you started when you were just 14 with Celtic Thunder.
Yeah.
And your voice was still changing as of last year, is that right?
Well, that's completely right. It started possibly last year or something, and the last tour I was still able to sing my older songs from the DVD, but this tour there's a few surprises because I've grown up a wee bit now, so I'm not
Barry White numbers.
I'm not 4 foot anymore now, so
Have you been able to work that, or if you started out with a voice that was, say, up here, and 6 months later your voice is down here, does that kind of throw the sound of the group off a little bit?
No, people says that the dynamic's actually better than what it was, but you can make your own mind up when you hear it, so we'll see.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
If people don't like it, then we'll throw the rotten fruit at you.
Blame me.
You got an opera background, Paul. Tell me about that.
Well, yeah, to a certain extent, I suppose. I fall into the classical kind of category. I started training when I was about 7 years of age as a boy soprano, and just have continued through that vein, up until now, and up until recently anyway. Obviously when the voice broke like Damien's when I was around 15 or so, I came along. I had done a bit of work with Phil Coulter prior to Celtic Thunder's conception. Phil obviously is the musical director of the show and the composer, so he rang and said, look, do you want to come down and meet Sharon Brown about this, and it might be nice to have a classical element to the show as well, because as Keith touched on and Ryan earlier on, there's it's kind of an a la carte of music, in that George is kind of a ballad singer, Ryan will be a popular folk singer kind of thing, and similar with Keith and Damien, then it's kind of that young Barry White. It's nice, because of the fact that it's a show that appeals to many people and many shows on television where the whole family can sit down and enjoy it, and thankfully I think we've got that,
It is through television that you have really taken off, reached a very broad audience, which is not how it works for a lot of groups. Has that been a blessing, or has that been a bit of a drawback?
I think that's been a blessing for sure. We started out in PBS, I think it was last March it sort of kicked off. And really without PBS, we wouldn't have, I doubt we would have got anywhere that we've got so far. the way PBS, like back home, the government doesn't. You pay your tax to the government. They watch TV, but here it's completely up to the people who watch the programs. And without the people paying the money into the PBS stations, we really wouldn't be able to sell the tickets and get our program out there. So it's great. They really give us a good stepping stone.
Who decides what songs are going to be sung?
Well, I think from day one, when we got together to think about what songs we were going to sing, obviously our musical director, Phil Coulter, with Sharon Brown, the producer, had, you know, they had a plan in action of what way they wanted the show to go. But we've always said from the start that, you know, none of us are going up on stage singing songs that we don't want to sing. So we're very much proactive in the songs that we like singing as well, because I think it'd be very hard to go out there and try and convince the audience that you're singing a song you like if you don't like it, you know. So we're lucky that way. I think, you know, Phil Coulter himself has written songs for the show as well, so we're singing original material there as well, which is fantastic, because they're obviously songs that no one has ever sang before, and we're going out and singing them, and they've struck a chord, I think, with the audiences as well, you know. So as I say, you know, we've contemporary songs there that we've probably been singing, you know, for years. There's Celtic traditional songs, I suppose, like Caledonia, that you know, we all know and love, and we've sang as well. So it's just probably a process that we're all involved in, you know.
All right, I'm just going to go starting at the end and go right down to the end. What's on your iPod right now?
My iPod.
Stop, George. It's got a record
player. There's a lot on it.
Quickly, just give me one song or one artist. What are you listening to right now?
Amy Winehouse.
Okay.
Damien Rice.
Wichita Line Man, Glenn Campbell.